Okay.
Your buckle's off there.
Yeah, both of them are. That's how I roll.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Born Broke with Mike Hoforth. Today, we're going to talk about buying versus leasing. Take it away. Oh, cars.
Yeah.
Buying versus leasing automobiles.
Cars.
Take it
So
away.
I think that's a good start. I think when you're looking into transportation, you got to look at where you live, right? Do you need a car? First of all, that's the big question. Do you need a car can you justify a car in your life? Because you have to pay for maintenance. You have to pay for oil changes in that maintenance. You have to pay for tires. You have to pay if it breaks down. You have to pay insurance. I mean, you have a whole host of things above and beyond what a car is even going to cost you with a payment, right? So I think first and foremost, you need to look into, do you need a car for your lifestyle, right? Again, lifestyle is something we talked about, a couple episodes ago, right? So you really need to check that out and see where do you kind of reside in that lifestyle. So let's say you decide you need a car. Now we're talking about what? Leasing versus buying, right? That's how we're doing this. So do you lease or buy?
I bought my truck.
Your whole life you've always bought?
I've always bought, and I leased one time, and it actually worked because we weren't driving much at the time.
Why? Because when you lease, you got a threshold of miles you
Correct.
can't surpass, right?
Correct.
Otherwise, they really get you.
Based on the payment.
Yeah, so basically what he's talking about is when you do lease a car based on your payment, they may tell you, okay, this might be a 3-year lease, for instance, right? Whatever that term is. 3-year lease at 30,000 or less miles. I'm making these numbers up, but just to give you an example, right? Which means in those 3 years, you can't go past that 30,000 miles. Otherwise, they'll set a per mile rate or fee for every mile over 30,000, which can add up really fast.
Sure.
So that's that. So, okay, you leased once, yes?
Yep, I leased once. Didn't do it again. But
Tell us why.
because I want to keep my cars long, and I typically buy Toyotas, not plugging Toyota, but they just don't really have any problems. So maintenance, you just change oil, tires, rotate the tires.
Runs good.
Basic. And so the cost is minimal. It's just insurance, and then having 4-wheel drive. You don't really need 4-wheel drive. I mean, I have 4-wheel drive in my truck, but I never use it. Right. But insurance is going to go up.
Sure. Yeah, they get you for all those little.
Also fuel, right?
They get you for all those little add-ons, right?
Yep.
So that's the insurance company he's talking about. The insurance company, everyone's probably familiar. If you look at cars online, right, you see the different models. So you might have a base model, a mid model, and a high model. Well, depending on which you buy,
wants and needs,
but it also determines the insurance and what they're going to charge you on the insurance. Let's say you buy the top model. Let's say it's called a platinum. Platinum is going to be more expensive in the insurance to replace. If something were to happen to your car, say you got in a car wreck, it's going to cost you more or the insurance company more because it's top of the line in that class, right? So they're going to charge you a little bit more. If you buy, the base model, it's going to be a little bit less. So those are things to look at, when you're considering what you're going to do with a car. Myself, I've always purchased. This goes back to, why we're here with the financial literacy thing, right? I wasn't really taught whether I purchase or I lease, right? I had to kind of do what you said earlier. I had to kind of think through and go, oh man, do I want to lease for the rest of my life? That's how I put it in perspective in my head, which means you're going to have a car payment forever, right? So when your lease is up, whether it's a 2, 3, 4-year lease, whatever they are, then you're going to lease again. So you never get out from under that car payment. So what I did mentally myself is I'm like, look, if I can hold on to a car past getting it paid off, even if it's just a year or two,
it's free.
I'm money ahead for those 2 years.
And you kept your cars longer than
I keep my cars
probably most people. I would say 90% of the people, or 95% of the people out there, you probably keep your truck. I mean, you had that truck since college.
Yeah,
since like the late 90s, and you just got rid of it to. You sold it to a buddy of ours.
Yeah, exactly. I had I think it was a 96. I sold it maybe in 20.
Silverado 1500.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think I sold it in 2019, but it was a 96. I mean, can't do that math at the moment, but it's a long time. You know, here's the thing. It's like, it's a testament to who you are as a person, right? Like if you take care of your stuff,
Right.
it'll last, right? And if it lasts, then essentially it'll get paid off. And when it's paid off, like George said, it's essentially free for as long as you can keep it going. You know, yeah, you're gonna have to change
Right.
oil. Yeah, you got to put gas in it. Yeah, you're gonna have to put new tires on it. But that's minimal in comparison to having to do all that stuff and make a payment, right? So back to leasing and buying, right? Leasing is you basically get a new car for whatever the term is, which is pretty
3
nice for
years
some
typically.
people. Yeah, it's nice for some people. If you don't do high mileage, like I said, you know, maybe you're a lease person. You know, again, financial literacy wise, I think a purchase. And when you go into purchase, do you purchase new or used?
Always pre-certified.
That's right. CPO. CPO is certified pre-owned. Let me tell you a little trick on the certified pre-owned in my head. It's the lease returns. Depreciation's gone. Low mileage. All the maintenance records are there.
Yeah.
So you're getting the best a lot of times when you're buying a CPO, in my opinion. In my opinion, because you're not having to eat the depreciation. The depreciation is if you want a new car and you go buy that new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, and I'm sure you've maybe heard this or maybe you haven't, and that's why you're here on the financial literacy side, and that's why we're here to teach you these things, right? Is there's a depreciation as soon as you buy that new car and you drive it off the lot, right? That you eat. Now you have a satisfaction of, I just got a brand new car. Mentally, if you buy a CPO and you can mentally tell yourself that's a brand new car to you,
Absolutely.
you're not eating that depreciation.
As long as someone didn't smoke in it. That's my only prerequisite.
That's
Everything
up to-
else
that's
came
up to
on.
you. That's up to you getting in the car and smelling, you know? And
Sometimes they mask it.
yeah, but,
Believe me.
yeah. So I don't know, man. I say certified pre-owned as do
All
you,
day. Yep.
all day long. Sometimes certified pre-owned have a better. Sometimes they have a better warranty than new. By the way.
Yeah, no, actually, the Tundra that I bought for the family, it was 100,000 miles. So I got it with like 60,000 miles on it, and basically it had a warranty up to 100,000 miles.
Right.
And then the Ford F-150, I broke the Toyota rule with my F-150, but it was such a good deal, and I bought it for $12,000 off
Is that
this.
a CPO?
No, it had like 160,000 miles. It's beyond warranty.
That was that was an independent owner.
Yeah, it was during COVID. I didn't need anything fancy,
Yeah,
and it's
but that's a great segue, George. That's a great segue because not everyone can afford a CPO. Not everyone can afford a new car. Not everyone can even afford a CPO.
one owner though. All the maintenance records.
It's a good thing to look for.
Yeah,
Again, I can't stress enough, like literally you are in control of your own kind of destiny, if you will, right?
100%.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You're going to put the money out. It's your hard-earned money. Ask the questions you need to ask to make sure that you're not getting ripped off or that you feel comfortable with what you're about to purchase.
Yep.
You know, one owner, George said, which is always a positive.
Registration is dirt cheap.
Yeah, registration is cheap. Maintenance records are good. You know, having a mechanic inspect a used car is good.
Sure.
You know, have them just give it an inspection. Everyone should be able to do that because, you know, you need to protect yourself because a car is a big investment,
Sure.
you know?
And it's only going down in value
Absolutely. But
every day.
again, like if you can, let's say you buy a used car, like George is explaining here, right? You buy a used car. If it runs really well and you can pay a fraction of what a CPO or somebody off a lot with markup would, you're miles ahead. If you can keep that car for 10 years,
Yep.
you're really winning.
And private party too.
Yeah, you're really winning. You're winning in so many ways. You're winning because your payment's low, or maybe you paid cash for it, even better.
Yep.
If you can. But if you can't, don't worry. That's where you have to go to your bank and ask those questions. In another episode, we talked about bank accounts, right? Again, go to your credit union, go to your bank, see what kind of automobile loans are available. Ask those questions.
Yeah. They're typically, the interest rate's going to shift if it has over 100,000 miles, or if it has less than 100,000 miles. The interest rates are going to go way up if it's a vehicle with over 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
It's harder to find a good loan term for that.
Right.
So
Right. Makes sense though, because it's a little riskier for them, because
sure.
you're asking them to fund a car that might break down on you, but you're still going to have, potentially a gap in pay. So maybe should
we talk about gap insurance?
yeah, go for it.
No, you go ahead.
Gap insurance. So
Yes.
gap is kind of what I was alluding to, right? Gap insurance versus not gap insurance. It's if you buy a car and let's say your car, let's keep it simple. Let's say it's $10,000, right? And you put down $1,000, right? You owe $9,000 on it. Gap insurance is the gap between what you owe and potentially if you got in an accident, what's left. Okay. So let's say you buy that car, you put down $1,000, you don't make any payments on it, you crash it, you owe $9,000. That gap insurance is going to cover that $9,000, right? If you don't have gap insurance, you're on the hook for that $9,000.
Sure.
So you have a car that's broken and you got to pay $9,000 still for it.
Yeah.
That's something you have to consider when you're purchasing a car. Now, when you
They
get
always
into,
offer it to you too.
they always offer it to you because if you go buy a CPO or a new, they're going to offer you all kinds of things that you're going to have to be prepared for. So maybe do some research online.
Yep.
Gap insurance, tire rotations, excess oil changes above your warranty, all kinds of stuff. Windshield, crack windshield insurance, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, you need to educate yourself on them. Some of them might be important to you and some of them might not be.
Yep.
You know, I don't take any of them, right? But that's just me.
Yeah. And again, like go back on Google, type in what your situation is. I want to lease XYZ car. And there's a lot of resources out there that will help you find the right car. And it's not just going to help you with just the car payment, potentially what the insurance is, registration. Then guess what? If your registration's, I don't know, $500 divided by 12, bundle that in with your monthly payment. And then all of a sudden you go from, I can afford a $400 car payment, then it's going to be like $420, and then it's going to be $430, and then everything just trickles up when you start bundling in all the oil changes, everything, and divide it by 12, and then you're all of a sudden you went from saying, hey, I had a $400 payment, now it's well over $500 for
Correct.
For the whole car, every month.
Correct.
So,
You have to, similar to budgeting, you're going to buy a car, list out all the items, take a look at it. You don't get emotional. Don't get emotional. Be able to walk away. They're going to want to sell you that car.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're buying from an independent, if you walk away, you might lose it. If it's a great deal, somebody will swoop in on you. But go in prepared, right?
Yep.
Insurance cost, maintenance cost, payment cost.
And haggle. Don't pay rack rate. You never pay rack rate.
Well, you never pay rack rate. You shouldn't pay
Never.
rack rate. We said that.
With anything.
Well, there's another video we said that in. Yeah, you never pay rack rate. I mean,
People, they will discount. I'll ask for, a discount of, if tri-tips, $15 a pound. I'm like, hey, can I get it for 12? and the butcher would look at me like, really? Are you asking that? I'm like, yeah, I am.
sometimes, look, don't be afraid of a no. If you don't ask, you don't know.
Yep.
So ask the question.
Sure.
You have to ask to get, right? A boss once told me years ago, you got to ASK to GET.
Oh,
He would always say that. You got to ask to get.
sounds like a song.
Yeah, you got to ASK to GET. He would constantly say that in the office. You got to ASK to GET. I was young, and that's where I learned it. You have to ask.
Sure.
There's no harm in asking. All they're going to say is no, or they're going to say, look, I can't give you 10%, I'll give you 5%.
Yeah.
You won. You save 5%. Every percent you save is money in your pocket.
We talked about.
Dude,
It's either money in your
so good.
account or you're giving it away, and it's never coming back.
it's never coming back.
It's gone.
Yeah. Easy go, hard to come.
Sure.
So you got to, save that money, make that money work for you, like we said in another episode. I keep referring to all these episodes. We're giving you guys such great advice. Just things that we've learned for all these years that we've had to stumble through it. You know?
It's not rocket
This is-
science.
This is
we've
like the
been through
cheat
it.
sheets. This is like the cliff notes of financial literacy, financial getting yourself ahead financially when maybe you're not taught it, you don't have the parents that are going to spend the time, or maybe your parents don't even know. I don't know. And if they don't know, have them tune into our channel. I mean,
Yep.
we can teach everybody.
Yeah. No, I think. Look, I think most of us out there did not learn this stuff, and if you did, kudos to you and your family, because if most families in America understood this at the very beginning, everything would be much different, right? You'd be able to dodge all of the things that are constantly thrown at us on social media, on television, billboards pitching us the next really good car or the iPhone 15, 16, whatever they are right now, and you're always so tempted to buy that next thing, and then guess what? You go further into debt. But it's just the cycle.
I know, but
You know?
yeah, exactly. And that's what we're here to talk on this one, right? Like, let's recap it.
Yep.
This is my personal opinion, and this is how I live, right? Take care of your stuff. Don't get emotional about your purchase. Be able to walk away. List out all the items that are going to cost you money so you know exactly how much you're going to be in for, right?
Yep.
Haggle.
Absolutely.
Don't pay rack rate, right?
And have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
but
Walk away and hop in your car
Yeah,
and then drive off and then maybe come
But I
back.
want to finish. Don't be smart about it, right? There's no wrong way to do it. It just has to fit your lifestyle. It has to fit your agenda, right? But leasing, in my opinion, and this is why I don't lease, leasing does not give you the opportunity to potentially get financially ahead. Purchasing could.
Hamster wheel. Leasing is a hamster wheel.
Yeah, purchasing can or could if you take care of your item and you keep it past the payoff.
Yep.
Even if it's 1 year past, it's 1 year you didn't pay payments. 2 years past, 2 years you didn't pay. It compounds, you know? Like, try to keep it 5 years past if you can. If you take care of your thing and it's running well, why get rid of it?
Yeah.
Why? There's no reason. And you can take all that savings. When you're saving all that money, you can put it in an interest-bearing account and you can make money with
Yep.
your money.
Absolutely.
And then that starts to grow. And then you're on your way. You're sailing. We're not even that many episodes in, George. And look at all these gems.
I love it.
It took me 40 years to figure this out.
I love when you bring the energy too.
Dude, I'm so stoked. Like, if I had this to watch when I was young,
Yes. I wouldn't have made those. Come on. I mean, how many times did I buy a car?
I can tell you this. I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be sitting here because I'd be retired somewhere.
Absolutely. And we're old guys now, you know? So, but yeah, I hope everybody enjoys these nuggets that Mike is giving you.
It's not just Mike, though. George is giving us nuggets, too.
No, I'm just like the sidekick trying to have fun over here.
No, you're not. Stay
That's what I
positive.
told him. I don't.
Positivity at home. Positivity.
But
I got nothing more.
I think we're good. Born Broke with Mike Hoforth. Leasing versus buying. That's a wrap.